to our own children in public schools, not because the damage it will do for white folk. It's the power that it will instill in you. If you just look at the law, they wouldn't allow us to read. Y'all understand that, right? It was literally against the law. White folk could do any and everything to us as enslaved Africans. They could kill us. They could mutilate us. They could rape our mamas. But what they would not allow them to do was teach their enslaved Africans how to read. That's how powerful the knowledge is. And so we got to put that in some context. These are laws that were on the books. You look at the 13th Amendment right now. 13th Amendment was supposed to do what? Abolish slavery, except for being convicted of a crime. So it's still on the books. That's our work. That's your work. And so I want to close. Because once you know your people, once you understand our problems, and you internalize your own power, you gotta show up. You gotta show up. And my mom, let me tell you a little story, and I'm gonna close on this. My mom grew up in Chicago in a housing project called Racine Court. She graduated from Morgan Park High School at 16 years old, and she started and was going to college, and the welfare people came and said, you got skills. You're gonna have to quit school and help with your younger siblings. So she had to leave school and start working. And so she worked, she put herself through school, she ultimately graduates, becomes a teacher, lives a great life as a Chicago educator, and then she gets to move to Atlanta in retirement. And so when she comes to Atlanta, she becomes a thespian. Y'all know what a thespian is? Yeah, she started acting at 78 years old. Yeah. I mean, that's what we do as black people. We just reinvent ourselves, right? 78. She said she becomes an actress and starts acting in these plays. And so the very first play, she calls me up and she says, hey, I got the tickets for the play and I need you to come. Not far from here, they do it at this theater, similar to this, it's Salvation Army Theater, and they say, I got, the tickets, get your ticket. I said, okay, all right, Mom. Lo and behold, I got busy, I got distracted, I didn't get my ticket. My mom calls the next day. She says, son, did you get your tickets? I said, Mom, man, my fault, straight forgot, I'm gonna get my ticket. She's like, okay. She was a little short. She's like, okay. Next day she calls. Son, did you get your tickets? I said, man, I forgot, Mom, I'm sorry. Click. Now when your mama hang up on you, you got problems. And I was about to blame Jana, because that's how we work. You get to blame your spouse for everything, But then she calls back on the fourth day. And she says, I paid for your tickets. Now all I need you to do is show up. Y'all's tickets have been paid for. We just need y'all to show up. It was paid for when Donna Lee Hollowell had to let a man die that he knew was innocent, and he fought for him in Augusta, and they still executed him. Tickets paid for. Your ticket was paid for when A.T. Walden started being a civil rights lawyer here in Atlanta to desegregate the golf course. When Sister Herndon, Pruden Herndon, becomes the first African-American woman to practice law. Your tickets have been paid for. We just need you to show up. And when you show up as your authentic, beautiful black selves. All of it. With courage. Because that's the only thing that has ever changed and transformed this country, is that when we show up with courage as our authentic selves. We can never win by imitating other folks. We got to know what works for us. HBCUs have worked for us. HBCUs have saved us. HBCUs have elevated our movement and our work. And so when you go to law school, you will win. You all hear me? You will win. I get to teach my students at Clark Atlanta University every Wednesday night, and we have a pledge that we say. And that pledge ends with, I am a link in this chain, and it won't break here. You are links in a chain that goes back generation after generation after generation of black folk who knew what justice was and what they had to do to achieve it. And so when you show up, bring your ancestors, know our problems, and know that you have all that you need in order for us to one day be calling. There'll be a group in a theater 50 years from now, and they'll ask the question, what did black students in 2024 do to help change the world? And we'll be able to say, we did this, and we're ready to go forward and push our race, our community, and our people forward. I appreciate you all. Peace and blessings. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Can we give another round of applause? Okay.
And I want to just say this. Today was the first day we met. The work that she does and the work that she has done in doing this is worthy of high praise. High praise. Y'all should stand up. Because this work, This is visionary, it's critically important. I brought her some flowers and a card because I wanted her to know that she should get her flowers right now. So, tell other people about this, but make sure you give her a hug and show her some love, because I know how hard she has worked to put this together. And as we said, our firm, our community totally supports you. Do whatever we can to keep all of what you're doing going in any way that we can. Thank you so much.
So I was going to go straight into the Aspiring Lawyers pinning ceremony, but I just want to say something because of your expression of support. I want to say that doing this work is absolutely a labor of love. Absolutely a labor of HBCU love, black love, all of that. But yeah, I've never had a black lawyer or law firm owner express the desire to support this work publicly. So I just want to thank you for that. And I want to say that we're in a time where people are trying to say you shouldn't say black, you don't know, well, why are you doing this conference for black people? Maybe it should be resourced, underserved, everything other than saying black. And so it really means something to have my people in this space kind of affirm and confirm that this is important and we need to see us and we need to support each other and we need to encourage each other, because this law school thing and this legal profession it's really not a joke. And that's the reason why I've been doing these conferences for nearly 20 years, and I never have problems getting black lawyers to come up and speak, because we all do feel a deep and a sincere obligation to share this, whatever we can with you, and a lot of it is out of pain. A lot of it is out of a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that we've had to endure, and we don't want you to have to. We can't save you from all of it. It's like being a parent. You can say certain things. You can't completely prevent the pain and the process, but that really does mean a lot. And I do want to say, throughout the years, we kind of get maybe, predominantly white big law firms to kind of support. I think this year has been the worst year as far as getting support because of the Supreme Court decision that came down last year. And so that had to do with admission, but people are using that to say that they don't want to support, they're nervous about getting sued, and so they don't really want to support anything where it's racial or it's black. So it is important, and I want to really say this, that we support each other. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to have to worry about whether or not they see value in it, whether or not they say, oh no, that's DEI, we can't do that. We need to be the ones that are supporting our efforts, and I think we need to have a culture of giving back and supporting. We can't wait on other people to do it. If we see something that's worthy, we need to say, you know what, we need this, let's get behind this, let's support it. We can't wait for the big corporations or the big law firms and things like that, because as we've all seen in recent years, I think, and I'm gonna get back on track, but I think that they were saying, I don't know the statistics, maybe, is Lorenzo here? Okay, it looks like he had to leave, but I don't know the numbers, I don't know the statistics, but they said that the majority of all those corporations in 2020 that were saying during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement that they were gonna do things to try to support our community, they said the vast majority of them did not follow through with their commitments. So to me, that means more than ever that we can't sit around and just complain about it. We just have to take ownership and say, you know what, we have to look out for us. We have to be there for us. And ultimately, I hate to say this, but we're really all we have in a lot of ways, so we really have to kind of rethink so many different things. So I just want to say that, but let's create a culture of supporting each other, supporting our efforts. And like I said, I think this year has been the worst. And I just laugh at it. I'm like, okay, well, people are showing us who they really are. They're not supporting it, it's okay. But you know what, we're gonna move forward because it's necessary, it's needed. And so that's what we all have to do. We all have to do our part. Whether it's, taking on something is difficult and challenging. I hate doing events, I have to tell you all. I really do, but I do them because I really care deeply and passionately. I am a graduate of an HBCU. I am first generation. It was so hard for me. And so a lot of it is out of remembering that pain, the pain in the process, and to just wanting to meet a Black lawyer and just wanting to be able to sit at their feet and learn or whatever. And so I want you all to have what I didn't have, and I want us to continue to try to pass that along because it's so important. Okay? So I'm gonna get back on track. Is my son in here?
He just went back down.
Oh, he's playing, okay. All right, he comes to all of these with, all throughout the years. They've been coming to my conferences since he was, maybe like 3? So, and now he's 14. So, I want to talk to you all about the significance of this Aspiring Lawyers Pinning Ceremony. We've been hosting these probably for the last, I'm thinking maybe 10, 15 years. And so I have something that I wrote just now, but that I wrote for you all to just kind of explain the significance. And what I want to say to each of you is that we invite you to be a part of this pinning ceremony because we view this as a very significant event. This is a special occasion because it's a public platform for aspiring Black lawyers to publicly declare your interest in law school, your interest in becoming lawyers, your interest in pursuing law, and also your desire to do whatever it takes to succeed in a very challenging journey y'all just do not know that's ahead of you. So this is your way of publicly declaring that not only do you want to do it, you're willing to do what it takes, but as lawyers, it's also our way of displaying to you that we have unwavering confidence in you, that we believe in you, that we love you, that we support you in this pursuit of becoming lawyers. And it's important to know that you really are not alone. It may feel that way, but you really aren't. There are more of us on your side that aren't. There are more of us that will take your calls, your emails, that will chat with you than there are those who will not do it. There are more of us who will make time for you to encourage you than those who will not. So please keep that in mind, okay? And so I also want to say that the symbol, which you all will be receiving shortly, all of you will be receiving a bronze eagle pin. And the reason why we chose to give you all these pins, and it symbolizes the traits that we all want you to carry with you and aspire to. The eagle is a remarkable symbol of relentlessness, which you're gonna need a lot of relentlessness. You're gonna fall down, you gotta keep getting back up. Okay, you have to have vision. You have to be able to visualize yourself as a lawyer. Every day, whatever you have to do, put your name, and behind that, attorney at law. Whatever it is that you need to do, you have to have that vision in your mind. Okay, as hard as it is, it's very important that you see it. And also with all of us here, that you can see yourselves in us. And especially when we tell you it was hard and we come from where you come from, that you can see that and see yourselves in us, and see that if we're here, that it's very possible. And also know that we want to see you here too. That's the most important part of this event, understanding and knowing that. Also, the eagle represents all of these extraordinary traits in pursuit, and for us, it's a pursuit of equity, it's a pursuit of justice. It represents all you are, all you can be, all you should aspire towards. And so that's the reason why we use the eagle as our symbol.